All right, everyone. We're going to go ahead and just get started on our next run here. So we've got Resident Evil Village Shadows of Rose by Mr. Chowtime. Chowtime, take it away. Uh, Hold on. Pods, go back to. I think we're having an audio issue here, Chowtime. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to try to fix that. I think I know what it is. All right. I think you're good now, Chowtime. Go ahead and get started again.
Alrighty. My name is Chowtime. I'm running Shadow of Rose. It's the DLC for Resident Evil Village. You get to play as Rose Winters, the daughter of Ethan Winters, the protagonist of Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 7. And basically, you were born with powers because of the events of Resident Evil 7. It's made your life kind of hell, and you're trying to get rid of them. And that is pretty much the summation. I'm going to be playing on casual because we go fast. And time will start whenever we get first movement, which I will call out because it's after a few skipped cutscenes. And I think one more skipped one. And start. But you saw a lot of skipped cutscenes there. One of them you may have glimpsed was falling into water. This game is kind of based off of Alice in Wonderland for a bit. You're going deeper into the rabbit hole each time. Long story short, the intro that we skipped is your friend comes in and says that they have a way to help you get rid of your powers. You just have to trust them. They go back to their science office and all that, and then you kind of black out. And when you wake up, you're falling into water, and then you wake up in a weird castle. For anyone that's played Resident Evil Village, may recognize this castle as the same one that Ethan was in. I'm going to butcher it, but Domitresque. But
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yep.
thank you. We're in the basement of it, and we hear a lot of banging sounds, people yelling. We're going to find out who they are very shortly, and it has a good amount of a backstory to why things are unfolding the way they are that it explains as it goes. But at first, there's a big kind of WTH moment as to what's going on. But we'll let that unfold here in a bit. But this run, I have made it very focused on getting a good IRL time on it. There are numerous things that could be done to get me a better in-game time, which is what the leaderboards go off of. But I've always wanted to run it at a marathon, so I always wanted to focus on the IRL time. Like there is probably a good, if I had to guess, 50 plus time skips or time saves that I am skipping because the time save itself is on the IRL timer and actually adds time. Or sorry, is on the in-game timer and adds time to IRL. So we're gonna get our big reveal that makes everything kind of weird, psychedelic-like coming up here. And we heard someone yelling from this door, so we want to let them out. So we're gonna do that here. And we're gonna skip the cutscene. However, they're in a different dress than us. That is us ahead of us, though. The reason that we're have a wolf on our back, by the way, is this was the pre-order bonus. That is my favorite jacket in all of gaming. If there were any costume makers that I could find that could make it, I would buy like in an instant buy it. I want that jacket so bad.
Yeah, I'm a big fan as well.
Speaking of clothing, though, I actually have like real life stakes to make sure that I go underestimate on this one because I got an email saying that my Fall Fest shirts are at my leasing office right now, which closes about 10 minutes after my estimate. So if I finish on time, I'll be able to get them today. It's always good to, raise the stakes a little,
Well,
right?
I'm glad we started a couple minutes early now, then, too.
Me too. So this first part, basically, we're just trying to escape the dungeon. We're gonna find a lot of dead copies of ourselves. Um, there's more to the dead copies like than you realize, because the enemies in the game for the most part are dead copies of us too. Like that one there is dying, and you saw that her face is all messed up and looking icky. And all the main enemies of the game are going to be just more advanced versions of that illness that's taken over them. And we'll see that main enemy now. So we're surrounded by him. We're going to pull the switch handle. And then, if anyone has ever played Resident Evil games, you may know something about the, I can't remember the exact term, but I think it's like AD, adaptive difficulty, or something like that. The more damage you take, the less ammo you have, stuff like that, the easier the game gets so that it keeps you in a flow state. It's something that they do really well. So what we're doing here is just taking some damage, there we go, to lower the difficulty, to make enemies die faster, make them less aggressive, stuff like that, so that we can kind of just have an easier time as we go throughout.
Oh,
Also, for our
interesting.
techs backstage, that's the loudest part of the game, and I'm sorry if it caught you off guard.
No, I think we're good. If anything, we may
Okay.
have been a little bit quiet. If chat wants a little more audio as a treat, just let me know.
But you see
It's
this.
always tricky audio balancing for the horror games because you know there's just that one jump scare that's gonna come at some point. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh yeah, I believe that too. Like
you
that.
know what I'm
Luckily,
talking about. You've done
yeah, I
tech
read a
games.
lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot of horror games and I've done tech before. There's always that at least one scene that you're like, okay, I need to be ready for this. It's coming.
hmm
And you'll see the first thing for any of our viewers that may be bunnies, hares, rabbit, however you want to phrase it. The first main villain of the game constantly refers to us as Rabbit because, again, Alice in Wonderland, we're going down the rabbit hole. So here's a little call out for y'all. Which, by the way, the first villain is, if you've ever played the Resident Evil Village by itself, is the Duke, which you know he's a very caring, good guy. And well, I don't know if I would say caring. He cares about money, but he's always there to help us in the normal. But he's the main, not main villain, but the first villain. So we're gonna dodge that guy, and that's gonna be the main tech that we use during enemy encounters, is baiting them and then dodging them out. It's not a mechanic that's in the game. Like, there's not a button to dodge, but if you are not holding forward and sprinting and you just hit one of the strafe buttons, you'll do a quick turn, and that can be used to bait the enemies. And this guy is always a pain, so let's see if I get it. Nope. The good news is if he grabs me once, it's not going to be too bad. It makes the game easier in the long run, and we stay positive about it. However, it does mean that he's going to be right in the way of that path that I usually like to go down. We picked up some bolt cutters there because we got to go outside, and there is a chain on the door. Which this game, like, I think it was probably like a week or two at most after it came out that it was severely optimized and routing was figured out. No major skips have been found since then. Everything has just been small optimization since then. So for the people that very much started planning the route and everything on this, kudos to them. There is an area that is faster than what I'm going to do here, where if you go straight, you can trudge through that muck there. However, it can kill you, and then you have to restart a good ways back, so I'm going to just play it safe and go around. And that's good. There is a part that I like coming up where Rose specifically says, we're not going to do that. That's a bad idea, and except that it's faster to do that, so we're totally going to do that.
Sometimes bad ideas are faster.
Yeah, I agree. But she specifically calls out, I'm not going to go through that. Then you're just like, and we're going to go through this. You get a bit of time before it will kill you, but if you're in that too long, it will kill you, which we're going to use to get an intentional death later on to lower the difficulty again. Which that is right before the hardest trick in the game, which is The only part of this run that I would say is excessively hard if you're looking to get a good time. If you're looking to get a great time, then it becomes immaculately hard of a run. So we're going to come up here and get our first vial. And these vials give us, well, the first one gives us power, and then everyone after that expands that power. So now that we have that, that sludge piles that we ran through, we're going to be able to get rid of those. You do that by destroying these bulbs here. And Rose is a superhero because she takes no damage from that fall. Superhero landing, right? We can get rid of this bulb. Come on, there it goes. And we're going to take some more intentional damage here. And if we're lucky, it will be a quick hit and not a full grab, but we'll see. I did a full grab. And these enemies, they're known for being a bit finicky with the RNG side. Also, if the stream looks a little choppy, it's because the game is being played at 30 frames instead of 60 because the game was designed for 60, and playing at 30 allows you to push enemies like I just did there to run past them. All these enemies are RNG right now, and they can just ruin this room. It is a very common reset room. However, we got through clean. Those enemies can take like 3 different paths, and one of them is directly in your way. And you know when you're having a PV that's the exact route they're going to take.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first boss right there. We're just going to run past him for now, though. Now that we have the power to destroy these sludge things, we're going to open up this path to make it easier when we come back. And we're going to destroy that because it has a key item that we need, but we're going to grab that on the way back too since we have to come through anyways. Which, if you're wondering why it's being played in Japanese right now, it is because we have to wait for text to finish later in the run, and it is just quicker in Japanese. It is the very only game that I play that has that time save, and it was enough to make me feel like, you know, I've made it as a speedrunner. I have to play on the Japanese version. That's how you know you've made it.
You're not wrong with most games.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few that have that. So this one is hidden, so we're going to whip a 180. You can let this enemy live and get through this area without worrying about it later on because we have to backtrack, but it's just easier to get rid of it. And we have plenty of ammo, so... So you see all this gold-like dust around here helping us out. We have an entity that's referring to itself as Michael that is here to help us get through all this and to help us escape, to help us lose our powers because Michael just wants us to be happy. We're going to do a restart there because otherwise we have to wait through a good amount of dialogue. And on the 30 frames thing, we're just going to kind of scoot back. Can't do that on anything but 30. Which the world record run, there are some parts of the game that's faster at higher frame rates. So you're constantly alternating back and forth, but that doesn't count against you in-game time, but IRL is menuing and all that, so most of the major time saves come from the 30 frames, so that's just what I keep it at. We're lucky those be lined up nice for us. They were. We're gonna push him. Now that we're leaving out here, we're just gonna run past him. Don't have that one to worry about, and there's a bulb in there. So we got our first key. It's the monogram key, and then there's the, or I think monocle key, and then there's the triocular key. And there's no dual one though, so if you have 2 eyes, they apparently don't care about you that much in this castle. We see that on the ground there. Still not time to get it though. It's tempting, but we have to resist. The whole reason that you don't grab it there is so that you can do a quick menu on this door because it puts your most recent item at the top of your menu. And if you grab that on the way, then it will not have the right item. Like I said, the people that did this within the first 2 weeks optimized it pretty much. This in the in-game time run, you pause buffer out of that animation so that you don't have to. Oh, wrong area. So you don't have to watch that animation play out. It takes more time IRL, but is faster in game. I actually, as far as I know, discovered a skip here during setup that I'm going to try to reproduce. Oh,
We're
no, I
doing it
didn't get it.
live.
If you time it right, where you fall back like I did there, you'll just be at the bottom of the staircase rather than having to backtrack like that. And I've never seen anyone do that in their runs. The world record run doesn't have that, and it saves like a second. So I don't know if it's just really hard to pull off, and that's why no one does it, or what. And I haven't seen it in any guides, so I may have discovered it, or I may not. But if so, I have my contribution now. When I was learning this run, it was already figured out. I didn't really have a whole lot to contribute to this one. Hit just the tip over here. Come on. Okay, that's good. Let's see, can I bait you to go this way? Looks like. Nope. Ooh! You know what? I'll take that damage. All that does is make it a little easier for us later on. Ain't no thing. Right, we get our first mask there, the silver mask. And 3 masks are silver, bronze, and gold. It may seem like we've skipped bronze, but that one item that we keep running past is the bronze one. That enemy, you saw me do a dodge there when I didn't need to. Like 50-50 chance. It loves to just grab you. I also think it's hilarious how Rose runs when she has the pipe bomb out. Looks like she's holding it up like a candle. This is the part that made me realize that I wanted to do IRL time and not in-game time, because you'll see save icon in the top left coming up here in a second. Right there. You restart your save just to skip that climbing animation at the top. And since it doesn't count against in-game time, it's faster. I was like, that's a bit optimized for me. I think I'll just stick to IRL time. So we got a painting. We do love art here, right? I'm pretty sure everyone here in this server and chat loves art. So now, finally, after it tempting us for so long, do we get to go for the bronze mask? Speaking of tempting for so long, like, the game that I ran at Fall Fest, Spirit of the North, it's been out for like just under a decade. Never thought anything else was going to come from it. Like, I think it was 7 days after my run, Spirit of the North 2 was announced.
Oh, nice.
I'm very excited about that. I like to think it was my run that showed them, you know, that the 3 years of development that they spent on it was, you know, in motion in the last week. So we're going to just do the painting puzzle here. Basically, you're supposed to line up the prey opposite of the thing that hunts it. And put a spider, which we had spiders in last run. There's another spider right there. I just want to say, people say spiders are creepy crawly and all that stuff. I love spiders. They're like the coolest thing in the world to me.
All the big spider fans in the showcase today.
So we did a tactical restart there, once again, to skip a little bit of dialogue that it forces on us. We now have the triocular key, which means we can open up the final area of the castle. We can also use it to come over here and get ourselves a shotgun that is, for the most part, the only weapon we use in this run.
これで楽になるかな。
Alrighty. We're about to take an intentional death. It may be a little louder than the rest of the game, just a heads up on that. We're just going to come in here and stand here. Once again, we're doing this for the DA manipulation, where we're making the difficulty easier, because the boss that we're about to fight can go down in one less shotgun shell. I think it's two, actually. And this is the only major glitch of this run, and it is hard, so what we gotta do is get through that and pick up that mask, but you're not supposed to be able to pick it up even if you walk over to it. And I didn't get it. So we're gonna get another death here. There is a very small area that you can interact with it, and you can pick it up early, and it skips a fairly lengthy puzzle. So let's go ahead and try that again. What you're aiming for is kind of that corner there. Once you get to the point you can't move, you miss it by a hair. So you saw the prompt pop up there. You have to get it while that prompt is up. And I was just a hair off. But we stay positive. Only thing that we're doing is making the boss easier. Who knows? Maybe it will take like 3 less shotgun shells by the time I'm done. There we go. Okay. Third time's the charm. I'm not too upset with that. So we kind of have this here now where we're supposed to have to try to figure out which one to shoot, or not shoot, but get rid of. But just like all horror games that are actually puzzle games, once you know the puzzle, it's fairly easy to get through. This is the first jump scare. An enemy will get up and try to block you from interacting with it. It gets everyone on their first playthrough, and it's always fun. Pick up some extra ammo just to be safe. We should not need it, but we're free. I'm gonna run around with the pipe bomb again because it's fun. And then we're gonna have our first boss coming up soon. First, we just gotta run through these halls again. Dodge him. And now we're back in this room where that guy is gonna still be in the way, so we're gonna go around. This is why we have it on Japanese, because this dialogue right here that you have to just wait out.
やっとこの力から解放される。でも今までずっとこの力と生きてきたから、なくなるって考えると変な感じ。分かってる。分かってるから。
Okay. Now we come over here. We put the mask on the statue, which is going to give us that crystal, which we were told would give us our freedom. We would no longer be tied to our powers. So we've been doing everything for that crystal. We got all the unlocks for it. And then we finally get to pick it up, only to find out that the Duke has tricked us. I was trying to think of a clever way of putting it, but So we get this, and we're at the first boss.
嘘でしょあいつと戦うの
So you're gonna see him lift his leg and stomp. That's when we want to throw this right there.
何あれ体が変わってく
Bad.
やったの
I only wanted to load one shotgun shell there. It is actually faster to fire your shotgun one shot at a time while reloading than to go through the loading it and then pumping it. So we're gonna get these guys down. He's in a good spot, so we're gonna take aim.
死んだんじゃないの
If we can hit 4 shots, I think it is, we should be good. Yep. It used to be where you used the pipe bombs in the beginning of the fight, but you use one now, and then you use another one to clear this hallway. Pull the shotgun back out, get more of our powers, pick up some more shotgun shells. And now that we have full powers, we can actually do a stun on him so that we can get easier attacks. Oh, that's not the best that I got stunned out of that still. But there's the first boss done. And that will be the last combat encounter pretty much until the final boss. There's 3 chapters to this game. The third one is extremely short, and the second one is not a combat one. So we're going to load this with 2 rounds to get it ready for next time we need it. And then pretty much we are now into, if you have played Resident Evil Village, the path to the house beyond Veneto. And just like in the original game, this area is meant to be the non-combat, psychological, we're going to just try to throw everything at the wall to scare you type area. Which, if anyone has like a fear of porcelain dolls, this is the time that you should be aware. But we do actually get some good backstory for, or I guess I should say lore continuation of Resident Evil 7 here too. We kind of start to figure out exactly what's going on, why everything is kind of gone crazy around us.
マイケル
And
何なの
so this area in Village is kind of
違うよ
Ethan Winters reliving some of the worst times of his life, and Rose pretty much has the same thing that this is designed for. But not saying that what Rose went through as a baby, you know, getting chopped up into millions of pieces and then having to be put back together isn't traumatizing. She doesn't remember that. So we're going to relive all the trauma that she remembers in this area. Also, fun thing about playing this in Japanese is that no one will recognize, or I should say most people won't recognize the voice actor there to reveal who that character is that's talking to us. So this is just going to be our standard puzzle area. Once again, knowing the solution to the puzzles kind of helps. This is all even numbers, just counting up. So 0, 2, 2, 4, 4, not one too far. And then 6, 6. At least that's how I always remember it. I guess I shouldn't say it's all even numbers, but it counts up using even numbers. We get scissors, which are so scary and dastardly that they need the big shock sound effect when you pick it up. We're looking down here because there are arms hanging on the ceiling that will scare Rose if we don't. Now that we have those scissors, we can come back to the operating table, operate on the teddy bear. I guess I should say teddy monkey. And we get our next piece of the puzzle.
あいつと戦うの
And we get our next piece of the puzzle.
あいつと戦うの
This is
あいつと戦うの
going to be our standard puzzle area. Once again, knowing the solution to the puzzles kind of helps.
あいつと戦うの
And we get our next piece of the puzzle. This area in both the DLC and the main game was my favorite area. I love this type of horror. That being said, I do think that a lot of horror games tread the line between being just you can't do anything and you just get to watch the story unfold around you
今度は何
when they take away like combat. So
何こ
having
れ
a
って誰が
non-combat
やった
area
の
can either be really, really well done or it can be a trope.
Totally agree with that.
It's one thing that I find as someone that loves running horror games, it can be difficult at times trying to find a good horror game to run that's not just a walking simulator that I'm running through. But as long as it has good atmosphere and everything like this, and it has good puzzles to it, I don't mind it so much.
人形遊びって何をさせたいの
So we interact with these dolls in a very specific order so that we don't have to menu to get to them. And once you see the order, it's very easy to remember and you never have to worry about it again. When you're putting everything down, you go left to right, and when you're picking everything up, you go right to left. As long as you do that, everything will always be in the right spot. Because, like I said earlier, anything that you grab last gets put at the top of your inventory, so you want to manipulate it a bit so that everything can just be easily menued through. Because menuing counts against you even if pausing doesn't. I also had something weird happen in setup where I got like flung against the wall here, and I've never seen that happen, and I've never seen anything like it in this game. I've never been momentum glitched in this game until setup. Why did you do that, Rose?
本当に気味悪い
So we're gonna start seeing more and more mannequins show up around here, which is really creepy
どうなってるの
the first time you play this. To be fair, it's creepy now too. Just, desensitization. So we're gonna come through and we're gonna go back to the first room where we picked up the first doll, and we can now complete that puzzle. I will say, after this puzzle, there is a jump scare if anyone is affected by those particularly. It's not as bad as the jump scare in Village, where just like all of a sudden a giant baby monster thing is crawling down the hall in this area. That is one of the best areas of Resident Evil in general, though. I'm going to break what I said earlier and just pick these up in any order because it will put them in the correct order. So we turn the corner, nothing's here finally, but then all of a sudden behind the door, the mannequin we saw earlier has moved. Oh, come on. I missed my menu. And And last but not least, put the black-haired doll down. And the blonde doll throughout this entire thing, because I forgot to say it, is a representation of Rose. So it's showing what Rose has gone through. The bullying in school, the people pranking her out, saying that they're giving her presents only to then like dump water on her. Because before she started to learn to control her powers any, she was, moldy, because that's what her powers are. She can control the mycelium. So she got bullied quite a bit, and she's very resentful about it. It's the whole reason she wants to get rid of her powers, is she just wants people to think she's normal again. So the voice here says it's going to help us, but Mommy is going to be upset. Mommy is the equivalent of the giant scary demon baby in this area this time, though it, in my opinion, is not as scary.
Just something about a baby.
Yeah,
Giant
always
babies
gotta have
are
something.
just terrifying.
It's like the whole like PT thing, like the baby in the sink of PT was the most terrifying thing, and then this game just took that and like made it the size of a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So we hear footsteps around me. And what we have now are those mannequins we've been running past suddenly will come alive if we are not looking at them. So if we have any fans of Boo's from Mario or Weeping Angels, then, you know, they understand how this mechanic works. So there wasn't a fuse in the fuse box, but we found one and we're going to grab it now. One's going to come through the door. We want it to take a few steps so that we can run past it. And this is another area where playing in 30 helps because you can just run past them where you can on other frame rates. We're going to come this way and go to the elevator. We have one blocking the door. We want to bait them away from it. All right. And now that we're done being chased by mannequins, we find out. There it goes. Sure wanted to think about it for a second. That we are now doll-sized. And we have to try to escape. This is the area that a lot of people kind of get creeped out with in this area. But once again, we know the patterns. We're also going to do a lot of tactical restarts here. So like we run through that door, get a save point, restart to reset the pattern, because all of these are on just patterns, and restarting will put them on the default one, which means we know how to handle it every time. So we're just going to play risky. We got to make sure the one below is passed. It is. We're good. You're supposed to work around like the left side of the room there. There's a whole lot of like hiding spots that you can slowly work your way through. But luckily, the default pattern for them is quite easy to avoid. Just like the jittery movements on them is what's so creepy. But we can just run past them now. I'm not going to do it because I always fail when I try to show it off, but these enemies that are about to run past stuff has an extremely small vision cone, and anytime I try to show that off, they end up grabbing me, but you can stand pretty far out into that hallway and they won't care at all. So we got another save happening there. We're going to restart it. And that's so that we can get one of these dolls on a good motion for us to do a skip of this entire area too. That I don't understand how it works, but it does, so we'll be happy with it. We're running over here. We look up, point at that knife, which for some reason affects the bulb behind it, and then lets us out this door. And then another tactical restart. And then we finally get to see Mommy. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, go ahead. Need to use... Not... No, come on. Now we use it. That's going to put me off cycle for this, but we'll just adjust. You can usually just wrap that corner without worrying about it, but that attack put me off cycle. But we're going to reset the cycle here now. Pick up that. And when it turns away, we put it down. Okay, and we're good. That was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. But Mom will never see us now, so we can sneak back off to the bedroom. We got snacks from the kitchen without Mom noticing. We stopped the microwave at 1 to make sure it didn't ring. Okay. Mom found out she could smell the nacho cheese in the air and it woke her up. So now we gotta run. The whole time, this voice is just like talking like you're right to be bullied and all that stuff. But it's been a while since we've seen from Michael. Michael was always there to help us. He's just disappeared. So Michael finally makes his return. And he gives us a little bit of a safe haven away from everything. Chuck, this area is actually like really heartfelt to just explore everything in. So if you're ever playing the game casually, just like explore everything here. It is extremely heartfelt between Ethan and his daughter. Because this is the Winters family home growing up.
どちらかというとローズはパパにかな。
声が聞こえる。これって父さん？
For anyone that doesn't know the lore, Rose doesn't know her dad. Her dad gave his life so that she could live. So it's a big thing that she got to hear his voice there. We got a picture of our dad there, and that gives us the willpower to push through. So now we run and we find out who that voice is more. Which, if anyone's played Resident Evil 7, that's the main villain, Evelyn. The reason that she can affect us here is we find out in this area that the mycelium kind of connects everyone that's ever been connected to it, which is also why in Resident Evil 7 near the end, like, you have a dream with Jack Baker in it. It's because both of y'all's minds have been affected by the mycelium. And so the mycelium kind of holds all the consciences of everyone that's ever been connected to it. And some of them are more vocal than other, like Evelyn here, who sees us as a threat to who she is. Because we're kind of like the better version of her. You're going to want to use this one and save the other one, and we're going to have to take intentional damage for it. Oh, don't walk into the sludge. And we're going to get hit one more time. I messed up the first stun, but I do not want to lose the orb of power in the bottom right, and it takes it to use the attack. Just in case this area happens, you can slow down some enemies using it, and I would hate to have them get to me and kill me. Given there should be like 0 chance of that, but you know how it goes when you're showing off a game. 0 chance ends up being like a 10% chance. We're not safe yet. We're about to have a Evelyn boss fight. Which the Evelyn boss fight is one of the things that became a lot more optimized after the game got through its first week. The original strats was just to wait out her attacks, and then it was found out that you can bait her attacks. So we're going to pick up some more power fluid there. So we're going to just try to use our power on her, and doing so we'll get her angry and attack early. And she does 3 attacks in a row. And then she's tired and we attack her. This fight is very, very much on a pattern. Oh, that didn't register. Let me run over here. This part is always fun, because she is going to do a fake out and make us think she's attacking and then just disappear instead. And there's no way to avoid damage here without slowing down, so we're just going to take some damage. She's just going to keep yelling at us how we're horrible and we never have any friends. Oh, but Michael here, giving us a pep talk. Get her to disappear. Attack me. With the help of Michael, we were able to defeat Evelyn. We kind of get a glimpse of Michael in that cutscene because Evelyn starts like freaking out and he throws us down to the next layer of the rabbit hole to save us. So we finally get our first glimpse of him. But seeing as we're skipping the cutscene, y'all won't get a glimpse until near the end. In which case, we just full out get to see Michael. He fights with us. So we're going to skip this. I'm going to do it on ammo. Good. I have enough to finish the game with that. We'll have more shotgun ammo coming up, so. So the shotgun is the thing that we're going to use most on the final boss. So now we see Rose that's us, even with the same outfit and everything. Which, if anyone remembers Resident Evil Resident Evil Village, there is one enemy that is well known for their shape-shifting abilities. And it is that enemy that we're seeing. We're going to use it on that one. Yeah, just kind of run past. I'm going to pick up some ammo just to be safe. We're almost at the final boss fight now. I don't think that caught the last one, so we'll see. It did not. Luckily, it played calm, played nice. Did not attack us from behind when it could have. That was weird. Alright, this is our last little pit stop to get ammo and all that before the final boss fight, so there it is. We have one less shot than I want to have, but we should be fine. And the final boss has, like, health gating, so you're going to see us use the pistol once in it, just because it's going to be better for ammo economy. So we're making it to the end of the cave. We're about to actually find the real crystal and not the fake one that the Duke tried to bewilder us with. And just as all mines are connected using the mycelium, a lot of the enemies we thought we beat in the past are still connected to it. Including Mother Miranda, the main villain. Also, Michael is Ethan, our father, and now he's here to help us escape. We still don't get to see his face. They're very coy about that. They never let you get close enough to see his face. I should be running with my shotgun out so that we're a matching pair. It would be really cool if he got to help us during the final boss fight, but he does not get to. This is the only unskippable cutscene in the entire DLC too.
娘から離れろ。俺の家族に手を出すな。さあ、早く。
Alrighty, and now we are going into the final boss fight.
その程度の力で
We
こ
want
の私
one,
に立ち向かえると本気で思っているのか
She's stunned. That's good. That means we got the first one.
私と同じだと思わないで。
Now we got to get 7 shots each time. 3, 4, 5,
力持っているはずが
7. That should be enough. We use our super there to knock her down each time. That super is the only thing that can knock her back damage or damage gating, which is why we do it.
後悔させてあげる。
I'm gonna use this. Alright, and now we just should unload with everything that we have. It looks like we had just enough ammo. I'm gonna switch to pistol afterwards and keep going just in case.
ありえない
As she said, impossible. That should do it. But just to be safe. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we'll have time coming up here in a moment. We have to use our ult on her and then drain her of her power, and that'll be time. She hurts us. We heal up. We determine that we like our powers and that we are going to use them for good instead of get rid of them, which really upsets the Mother Miranda there. So we're going to use our ult and then finish her off. And time will be whenever this animation finishes, so I'll just call it.
これ以上の素材は他にないというのに
私は器なんかじゃない。誰かのコピーでも身代わりでもないわ。私は私よ。
And time.
GG's.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm curious as to where we had Hugh Horse talk about the end screen of Resident Evil, so might as well show off the Resident Evil end screen. And where do we finish? 47:22, not bad. My PB is 46, so not far off.
Very cool. Well, again, thank you for showing this off for us today. Really also appreciate that you offered it as a backup run in the marathon, and you know, it was kind of nice that we had a nice assortment of spooky games here to show off today. So thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
For sure. Where can the folks find you?
You can find me. Twitter is going to be MisterChowtime. Blue Sky is Chowtime. Twitch.com is MisterChowtime. About halfway through my streaming career, I wanted to drop the Mister, but you know, Twitch is Twitch. But for thanks and stuff like that, guess just a big thank you to my friends who usually come out and support these things, come out, watch when they can. Big help to anyone that's helped in any way, shape, form. To Fastest Furs, of course, for hosting me, always allowing me to show off cool things that I like. And big thank you to all the other runners that happened today and last weekend, showing off all these cool games that we had as backups.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You do. I'm going to go get my shirts.
Oh, yeah. Go get those shirts.